Hey everyone, welcome to week 9. Oh, we are officially halfway through the course. So, this week we are talking about physical and chemical control of microbes. This is looking at microbes outside of the body. And as you can imagine, I would hope, the way we can treat organisms outside of the body, outside of us, is very different than how we treat organisms on the inside of the body. Next week, we will go through Chapter 10 and look at the different ways we can then target bacteria inside of us when needed. And the processes, or the targets are very similar, but we have to go about it with different agents. All right, so week 9. You are going to read the entire chapter for Chapter 9. It's good information from start to cover, start to finish. And here are your objectives. Now, these are all specific for Chapter 9, and all of these are going to be identified or talked about in the PowerPoint notes, except for objective number 11. And objective number 11, I can go through and talk about the material that's in the textbook, or basically what you are going to do is take a half a sheet of paper with an assignment, a half sheet assignment, and read through the text, just that one section, 9.3, and look at the different chemicals that are there, and then record that on your assignment. And then the assignment is actually going to be the notes or the information that you're going to need to know for exam 3. So, as far as points go, this week is kind of heavy because you have the LearnSmart activity like normal. Then you have a Chapter 9 assignment, what I just talked about, in Blackboard. And that's going to be specific for Section 3. And it's just a half-sheet assignment. You're going to fill in 2 columns. I've given you one example, and that's going to be worth 8 points. All right, you've got a third case study, which is in Blackboard, and then the discussion forum that always follows the case studies, and then wrap the week up with a quiz. So all of these have a due date of Saturday, this coming Saturday the 21st at 11:59 p.m. The quiz for this week will open Wednesday morning. All right. Moving on. All right, this is just an overview of the material and how it relates to the other chapters. Now, I like this page, and this actually came from a different professor, but she's got a lot of good stuff there. And so I'm not going to take credit for being an expert and knowing more in this area than what the textbook gives you. So I just copied this information from her course and pasted it here. Now, one thing that I might have mentioned somewhere else, and I had on the overview, the weekly overview, was something about blood-borne pathogens. And again, that was coming from this other professor's course, and after going through it, I really didn't like it and didn't see the obvious benefit for you all. So, reading on blood-borne pathogens right here, I pulled that page out of Blackboard in case you were looking through this week, either first thing this morning or yesterday. All right, so there's your reading for this week, Chapter 9. And I'm sorry, my voice is just going crazy right now. What's going to follow are several of those animations or interactives, looking at the different or the major definitions when we're talking about controlling microorganisms: sterilization, disinfection, decontamination, and antisepsis. All right, then another animation that talks about death. And when we're talking about death for microorganisms, we're talking about the inability for the organism to reproduce. All right, so not true for humans. We're still alive even if we can't reproduce. But you understand the idea of a human dying. They're no longer alive. So bacteria, if they are alive, right, they could still reproduce. They may not be metabolically active, but given the opportunity, they could go back into a metabolic active state and then reproduce. So death is going to be termination, permanent termination of an organism's vital processes, which are necessary for it to reproduce. Physical methods of control. All right, you have heat, filtration, cold, high pressure is indicated here. In your textbook, though, the high pressure is combined with heat, and heat being moist heat, and then there should be dry heat. Right? So there are, in your objectives, it says state the 6 means of physical control. So heat is 2 of them, moist heat and dry heat. Then filtration, cold, desiccation, and radiation treatment. But each one of these tabs takes you through the definition of each of those methods. All right, now you have your PowerPoint slides. Section 9.1 actually has 2 audio components, just because I couldn't get all 12 slides talked about in 15 minutes. Section 9.2 is looking at those physical methods of control. That was really close to getting in underneath that 15-minute deadline. And so then 9.3, that's the chemical control. And instead of, again, me talking about it, here's this good video that I found on YouTube that I actually use in my other classes, because I don't talk about or I don't teach on this subject just because I think the assignment does well. And then if you want this extra lecture component, go ahead and watch that short video. All right, now here's this table that I was talking about, due Saturday. And what you have are some of the different chemical agents. All right, the halogens, chlorine, iodine, hydrogen peroxide, gas, specifically ethylene oxide, phenol, alcohol, detergents, and heavy metals. So this one here is just an example. Here you need to list the target. So chlorine targets endospores and all microbes. And you're going to look through the 2 large tables, or the 1 large table that takes up multiple pages. And it's going to describe these. There's some other ones in there, but these are kind of the main ones that are used. So you're going to record the targets, and then you're going to record what's the mode of action. All right, does it affect or target the proteins within endospores and microbes? Does it target the cell membrane? Does it work against the DNA by creating mutations? Or is it a combination of the protein, cell membrane, and DNA? Or is it everything? So you got the combination if there's more than one, or all of them. And then you're just going to include that here. And then submit it. It's 8 points because you have 16 boxes to fill in. And actually that's not true. You only have 7, but you get a freebie for the example. So each box is worth half a point. All right, now you can go to your LearnSmart activity for Chapter 9. Looks at all of Chapter 9. Also due Saturday night at 11:59 p.m. The time is correct. And then here is this is your case study. All right, so case study is specifically looking at some shampoos and some skin lotions and the different types of tops, whether it's a screw top or a slit top, screw top, flip top, pump for the lotion, and then some of the organisms that these scientists looked at. So, within 2 of the shampoo bottles that had a screw top, there was Citrobacter. Alright, and shampoo, Enterobacter 4 and 4, but with the skin lotion, there was 2 with the screw top, none with the flip top, none with the pump. And this study looked at 7 different organisms. And then you're going to answer these 3 questions. How did the bacteria get into the product? Which type of closure is best? Why do you suppose this closure works best? And then, why do you think the researchers tested for these bacteria? All right, these on this list. Now, this is a challenge question. There actually is a correct answer, and but really what I'm looking for you is your best guess. All right. So as long as it is intelligent, as long as it is moving down the academic path, right? Your answer is intelligent, not just because, well, that makes sense to me, or because, or who knows what could be some non-intelligent answers. But think about it. And I don't want you to sweat too much in terms of having to try to find that correct answer. If you get it, great. I would not want you to take more than 20 or 30 minutes on this assignment if you are one of those individuals who are going to want to go out and research it and Google it and all that good stuff. All right, put a time limit on that search. And then just make your best guess. All right, and then you're going to go to the discussion forum, and you're going to post your 3 answers. And then you're going to need to respond to 2 different peers for full credit. And again, what I'm hoping for is just a conversation on what you guys think, particularly to that 3rd question. And then the week will wrap up with your quiz. So, quiz again opens Wednesday morning at midnight, and will close also Saturday night. So your exams are almost graded. I'd hope to get them into Blackboard a little earlier than this, but it just didn't work out. But those should be posted quite soon. So I hope your Monday is off to a good start, and I hope this week promises to be fantastic for you, very productive, and just encouraging altogether.